I currently have more knitting projects than I have hands, and my whip stash is growing faster than my yarn stash. And to be honest, this was supposed to be a stash video, like where I show you what's going on in my stash, but I think it's turning into something else as I'm talking. So yeah, and even though I have all those almost finished things, I already planned the next cast on. So I know I'm not alone with that, and that needs our attention. And if you are a knitter, the chances are very high that you find yourself in the exact same position that I'm right now, where you think, oh my goodness, where does this all come from? And so I want to talk about something that almost every creative person has experienced so far. Why do I want to start new things but struggle to finish others? And more importantly, why does this not mean you're lazy, undisciplined, or bad at your hobby? Because that's something that's also very important. So hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah and this is my little corner of the internet where I talk about knitting, yarn, everything around it, and mostly also have a little cozy mindful coffee chat here and there. So if this is something you like, then subscribe to the channel and stick around. I'm very happy to have you here. Now, this is a pile of an unorganized mess, I would say, if I just take a general look at it. That pile of unfinished projects made me kind of feel strangely guilty. It was an uncomfortable feeling where I thought of myself like, hey, this is just, if I don't finish it, it feels like another broken promise to myself. And I really should finish it. I should not think about anything else because it's so beautiful and I spend a lot of time with it. And why can't I just focus on one thing because I actually think it's pretty, but something just keeps me off. Well, over time, I realized something. All those unfinished projects were never about laziness. They were all about information. They were like giving me signs and hints of what I actually think and what season in life I'm at right now. They were showing me what I was excited about or what I was avoiding or what kind of season of life I was in and what struggles I had and also what I wanted to learn. And that realization just changed the way I look at my knitting and also, of course, all those unfinished projects. In general, I believe there is no such thing as laziness. I know that sounds radical, but whether we do something or we don't, it always has a reason. There are always reasons, and those reasons just could be because we are too tired, too overwhelmed, too stressed, too busy, or maybe it just does not longer fit us. It does not longer fit into our lives and what we really want. And sometimes if it comes to a little pair of socks, we just want novelty. There needs to be a little something in between that's just different to the other big projects that we had in the meantime. Mm-hmm. And calling ourselves lazy is often just a very hard way of expressing a need that we have not understood yet. And that comes to our creative life as well. I think that's something that in general life exists, but it also exists in knitting. So I was just thinking about, why is that? What was going on when I wanted to knit that sock? And why don't I even want to finish it? What was going on with that shawl that I really wanted to start, but I totally lost interest in? Because think about it, most knitters with a lot of whips, they never do nothing. They are the complete opposite of lazy. They like research for a pattern, they get the perfect yarn, they really think into it, they cast it on and they work on it, and maybe they learn a new technique, and then they are halfway through and then they were daydreaming about it and something happens in the meantime. So in that, the problem is never motivation, it's just the abundance of creative energy, like flowing in different directions at the same time. So now, why does starting new things always feel so good? And there is actually psychology behind it, because starting something new, starting a new project is always full of excitement. There is this new yarn that has a new color and another feel to the touch and all of that. And there is a new pattern and you can already see yourself wearing that. And there is, of course, a lot of novelty in it, which our brain loves as well. And having all this new beginning of something in a very small and safe spot is very attracting, of course. So new projects give us this magical feeling of curiosity and excitement and anticipation. It's just sparkling a little and everything is still possible. Everything is still open and it's a new experience, and we just imagine it to be like very, very fun. And who does not love a little bit of fun, right? That's just natural. That's just the curiosity and the, like magic of something new, like a fresh start. Because at this beginning, everything is just possible. Nothing has gone wrong yet. You did not make a little mistake that you had to fix or even overlooked and see it when it's almost a little bit too late, or you did not have to rip anything back, or you don't have to deal with the fit issues that you may have later on when you have to figure out the armholes or the neck depth or something like that. Everything is just full of those nice possibilities and just fulfilled with this new excitement. And our brains are actually very attracted to possibilities, and all those possibilities get fulfilled in that first moment. So and then something happens, like with that dress. It was like the greatest thing ever, and I had that yarn gifted by my friend, which makes it feel extra special, and I kept knitting and knitting and knitting, and everything was fresh. And then I reached the middle of the skirt and something happened, and I would call it like the honeymoon phase was over. It was just repetition, and it was just normal, and it was just stockinetting around forever. And that excitement from the beginning was just not there anymore. So the project became repetitive and the fit was not as perfect as I wanted it to be or as I had imagined it. And all those little like side quests of making it better or being a little bit disappointed by something, they were all like kicking in here and there. Not something that was dramatic, but something that was just a little bit, maybe not today. So then you sit there doing that repetition and knit like 50 centimeter of a stockinette skirt that's very wide and has endless stitches, and you start questioning all your life choices, and something happens because here there is your new idea that has all those excitement ready for you. You just have to take it. New idea with a new yarn, a new color, a new feel, a new possibility, and you have, here you go, a new blank space to work on. That's very attracting to my brain. It is. I would grab it, I would take it, and I would say, just something. I just want something different just for now. And no matter how exciting this project was in the first place, there is something that can bring up this excitement again, and it can lit that spark from the beginning, and that's great. That's great because compared to the old project, this is a new possibility, a new opportunity to feel all that nice feelings from the beginning again. And who could resist that, Starting something requires curiosity, and we are all born with a lot of that. Finishing something requires something different, which is not as loud and a little bit more taken back. It requires like patience. Finishing often requires patience, acceptance, and letting all go of the idea that everything needs to be perfect and that you're going to end up with a perfectly fine magazine style item in the end. I also think our works in progress that just keep us and our hands busy sometimes reflect our lives and in which phase or season of life we are in right now. There are periods where I actually think that I can hyper-focus and think into something and only one project at one time. And then there are other periods where I want to have 5 or 6 different opportunities and options that I can choose from. And that's also totally fine. And neither of that is wrong. Sometimes life is stable. One sweater is enough. You can knit stockinette in the round forever. And sometimes our brain wants options, and then I go for socks and little scarves and hats and accessories and maybe cast on bigger projects because I think that this is something that keeps me busy now, but I can also like grab for it anytime in the future, or maybe this is just something that I want now, and I don't know if I'm ever going to finish it because there is always another level of it. And maybe sometimes you just need creative play where you choose colors that are bright and fun and maybe a new stitch and just play around with it for a little while and have fun, because sometimes we just want to have fun. And what's life without fun, right? Our hobbies don't exist like separated from our lives. Like there is the line where here's your like real life and there is your hobby and there is nothing that goes in between that. It's just not like that. Everything is blurred, and especially knitting reflects our emotional landscape much more than we realize sometimes. Now, realizing all of that makes me think that we treat our unfinished projects a little bit unfairly, because we assume that every cast on eventually should become a finished object. But why actually? Is that even necessary? Like, some projects just teach us something. Some let us try a new technique. Some let us use some new colors. Some just bring us the excitement of something new. Some are part of a group activity, and some just accompany us through a difficult season. And maybe when that season is over, this thing is just not for you anymore. But it was still there, and it still has its right to be there, and you still have like a lot of connection to that thing, even though you do not finish it. You still have that memory, right? So, and even if this is telling me this is not for me anymore, this is not a failure, because everything I saw and everything I realized is just information, and it's a very deep information about myself. Not every book needs to be finished. Not every movie needs to be completed. Not every TV show is for you until the end. So why does every knitting project needs to become a finished object? If you don't like spending time with it anymore, then who forces you? It's just optional, you know? Imagine opening your project back, and instead of thinking, I should finish this, ask yourself something different. Just think about it like, oh, that's interesting. That was what I was curious about. That was what season in life I was in. Oh, that's what I wanted to learn with that thing that I just made. Or maybe just, hey, I needed novelty for a while, and no, this is just nothing that I want to work on anymore. And that's okay, because it's okay to let go and not spend any more time with things that we don't really want to spend our time with. Because hobbies become much lighter when we remove those moral judgment from it. I spend time with it, yes, but it's also a good thing if I just say that that time was good and enjoyable, and now I'm going to enjoy my time somewhere else with some other projects that I will also enjoy, and nothing is ever lost. It's just exchanged into some good memories and experience and a learning process, and I can still have this pretty yarn and make something totally different that I enjoy more than just forcing myself to finish a sock and forcing myself to make another sock, because this would probably take me another 10 hours, and I really don't want to spend my time forcing myself for like a couple of days. So just say that it was it and that was a good time and move on. So with knowing all of this, having a lot of whips does not make you irresponsible, and having only one whip does not make you superior. It's just like the way creativity moves through us in different ways and through different times. So if you are having a pile of unfinished projects sitting around you in your living room, then maybe don't see it as evidence that you can't commit. Maybe see it as a snapshot or a little collection of ideas you had, of things you were inspired by, or things that you enjoyed spending time with. It's just a collection of things that once made you very happy and that you have enjoyed at that point. And so if you want to finish something from all that, that's wonderful. And if you just say, no thanks, I'm going to knit something small, or I just stop doing that, or I frog it, or I put it away where it never gets to see the sunlight again, that's fine too, because it's a hobby and hobbies should bring you joy. I know that this world is very optimized and very pushed to the limit, like finish something or it's a waste of time, finish that or you've spent too much money, or you've spent resources that should have been spent more responsible. That's just how the optimized algorithm driven world works, and I experienced that a lot. But in the end, have some fun, go and play, have some fun with your yarn, have some fun with your unfinished stuff, and maybe it's a very different feeling to say, hey, okay, I'm not going to finish this, I'm going to cast it off, even though it's very pretty, I'm going to cast it off and I'm going to make a pillowcase or whatsoever, because I don't want to spend another 80 hours or something just to have it done and get it done and not feel happy while doing it. I would probably feel more happy and relieved when I just let it go. And I think a lot of people feel like that, but a lot of people also think that if they don't push through it, they're not gonna finish it in like a good way. It's like wasting something, but it's never wasted. It's like only exchanged. So yeah, knitting is allowed to be playful and to change and to happen in seasons, and there's nothing that's better or worse, and the goal is never to finish something just for the sake of finishing something. The goal is always to have a good time. And if I don't have a good time, then I'm going to quit. We can understand ourselves better throughout the things we make and also the ones we don't. And knitting is such a great teacher to teach us life lessons and to let us reflect on life and just bring all our thoughts together in a very mindful and calm way. And I think that's everything I wanted to say. It was not a stash video, it was something very different, but I really hope you enjoyed it and you get some value from it. And if you did so, please like and subscribe to the channel, leave a little yellow heart in the comments below so I know that you stick until the very end. Please let me know your thoughts on this topic, or if you ever feel lazy or unproductive, and maybe you can understand yourself and your approach to different tasks of your life better when you see it through knitting first, because this is what I did. And I hope that I see you next week. And until then, take care of yourself. Happy knitting and bye bye. Oh yeah, and I'm just going to unravel that. This is it's a summerly design, the clock socks light, and actually I only wanted to know how to knit that kind of heel construction, so this is why I knitted the sock. And now I know it, but I also learned that I don't like the ribbing on top of my foot. So I'm going to rock that now, and I'm going to make another pair of socks like the ones I did there, just for every day. And now that's it really for today. That's really what I wanted to say. And that's like the very last comment on this video. Have a good time, and hope to see you next week. Bye.